Namaste Gurukulians, how are you? Well, today we are going to continue the next chapter related to gender. If you might have seen the previous video related to gender, we learned how to make from singular to plural. But the things are not complete here because there are so many things to learn, to understand when we use different kinds of nouns and the grammar works accordingly. So here today our topic is gender, and the subject of today's topic is related to important rules of gender. So here there's the first rule I have written. You must understand them because whenever you use them you have to use their particular pronouns, which are these genders. Look at them: moon, earth, nature, flattery, spring, hope, virtue, charity, humility, mercy, faith, peace, ship, river, nation, jealousy, negative word, liberty, city, and trade. Now, rule number one is, with these words, when you have to use their singular pronoun. For example, you will address them as she, her, hers, herself. How? I'm giving you one example. See, moon gives. Now, what am I supposed to write here? As I've written, we have to use one of these because these are kind of feminine gender. So I have to use the moon gives her light. Now, this sentence is correct. If you wrongly write here, considering moon as non-living thing, and you write here its light, this will be considered wrong. In the same way, you have to use all these genders with these singular pronouns. For example, train, you can say, in example, train has her many. Okay, a train has her many compartments. Now, if you write here its, this will be considered wrong. Clear? Now, moving on to second rule related to gender. I have written some words here. Now, if before a noun you mention one of these, which ones? Girl, woman, lady, female. How? See here, if you say girl friend, girl student, female child, woman teacher, woman doctor, woman conductor. When you have used one of these, so you can understand it is actually related to feminine sense. So we are likely to use, or we have to address them as she, her with adjective. If you want to talk about quality of some person related to these, hers or herself. For example, you can say a girl student has her notes in the class. So here, why this her has been used? Because of we are addressing student with girl. In the same way, if you use them with boy, then here the pronoun will be changed here. Now, under rule number 2, there are some more things you have to understand. We use them, but which are correct and which are incorrect. So here these are correct and these ones are wrong. You must use woman doctor, not lady doctor. This is wrong. Woman servant, not lady servant. Lady servant is wrong. Woman teacher, not lady teacher. This will be wrong, as I have written wrong. Woman driver is correct instead of saying lady driver, which is wrong. Example, a lady doctor has been sent for. And next example is it a women's college? So here don't be wrong and don't use is it a ladies college, etc. Next, when you have used she, which is for a female, do not mention that lady or woman. You directly say that, for example, she is a doctor. Here there is no need to mention woman doctor, right? In the same way, you know somebody is your teacher. When you know somebody, you know either he or she, so you say she is a teacher. Now there is a word which is under rule number 3, bachelor. Earlier we have learnt bachelor is masculine, and when we change the gender, that becomes spinster. Now bachelor is both, because these days we don't use bachelor only for male, we use bachelor for both male and female. So here we masculine and feminine, we use bachelor word for these both. He is a bachelor, right? She is a bachelor girl, because here we can use bachelor for both. Also we use bachelor word when we achieve our first degree from university. For example, I must say that he is a bachelor of arts, etc. Rule number 4, this is opposite of rule number 1, where we learnt about words which are used with singular pronouns related to she, her, hers. Now this is opposite. Earlier we learnt the words like moon, nature, etc. are used with feminine pronouns. Now here look at these words: the sun, time, death, winter, wind, summer, thunder, ocean, war, etc. They have to be used with these pronouns considered as masculine. So he, him, his, himself, etc. There is one example that the sun gives his warmth. You can write warmth to us. Now here we consider sun as masculine. For example, death, this word death. Death always knows his victim. So these are the ways of using these ones. Rule number 5. Now you will see some gender here. First of all, see, I've written masculine. Masculine means what we use for males. In fact, in our society, there have been many professions where only men have been working or have worked. So that is why we do not have their feminine sense. For example, the word shoemaker. We have mostly seen shoemaker to be a male. In the same way, baker, but there can be a female baker also. Merchant, soldier, and lawyer. So here we use them mostly for masculine, but we can use them for feminine as well. Now moving on to the 6th number, which is related to queen word. Queen, what do you mean by queen? Wife of a king is queen. For example, you have she is the queen. Now you understand this here, ruler's wife. Now second we use for the ruler. For example, Queen Elizabeth was not beautiful. Now here I have mentioned queen first, queen and then the name. Any name you write of any nation. Queen Elizabeth was not beautiful. So this is how we use queen word. After this, rule number 7. First of all, look at these pronouns: each, every, either, neither. Now suppose you are in a class of boys. Now you all people, everyone is boy, one of the boys. So when you come to know that the specified person belongs to masculine gender, then you are likely to use he, him, his, himself. On the other hand, if you know when you are addressing somebody, for example, we or all of us, or you can say neither of us, or you want to say either of you, or either of you, or each one of you, when the specified person belongs to feminine sense, then you are likely to use she, her, hers, herself. Example is every student. Suppose this class belongs to boys, there is no girl student. So every student should do his duty, full stop. Why his is here? Because here every was actually for males, because all the males were available and present. Each of us has finished his work. Each of us, suppose we people, each of us has finished his work, so these are correct. On the other hand, as I have told you, when you come to know that the people are of female or feminine gender, then you use she, her, herself. Now moving on to 8th number, here too, look at these words. The rule is quite same. When you have everyone, someone, anyone, no one, every day, somebody, anybody, nobody. It should be everybody. Sorry. If you come to know about the sex, then if you see all are males, then you use he, him, his, or himself. Or when you come to know that these people, like everyone, for example, for any kind of presentation, candidates have been invited. Now candidates were either male or female, so they were separated. Now female candidates are separated in a room. Now there is an instruction for them. So the person goes in the room of the females, says everyone will do her preparation here, right? Means everyone is for all the females. Fine. Rule number 9. Again, look at these words. Everything, something, anything, nothing are related to neutral gender. If you remember, when we learned about types of gender, for example, masculine, feminine, common, and neuter, then you will learn whenever you use these ones, you have to use one of these which are related to neutral gender, because they are neither masculine or feminine. For example, suppose I have a room and I was changing my furniture from one room to second room. Now second room is newly set up and I'm keeping all the things, but things were not kept according to the order. For example, the TV, for example, the bed, they were not kept in the order. So what I am saying, everything should be kept in its order, means wherever the thing is required. For example, the TV is required on the front wall, then TV should be on its place, right? In the same way, you use them. For example, nothing, anything, something. Coming to the 10th number. For animals which are small, second, which are non-living things, again the things are same. We here use these kinds of pronouns. It, itself, it. For example, I saw a snake and it was slithering. Slithering means the movement of left and right. The way a snake moves is called slither. I saw a snake and it is behind. Okay, I'm using it. I saw a snake, it is behind the door. Now why I used it here? Because it is either lower animal, small size, or non-living things. For example, you can address any furniture or any other non-living thing using it. Clear? In the same way, there are some more rules. Listen to them very carefully. Collective nouns, for example, jury, committee, class, team, government, family, council, army, etc. Now, when you use these collective gender, you have to use neuter, means it, itself, its, etc. For example, I'm taking jury. What do you mean by jury? Jury is actually a group of people who decides or who takes a verdict in a case. By the way, this is an old system of a court, which is not more in practice these days in India. Now, the jury has given its verdict. So, jury being gender of collective nouns, so here we have to use it. Second, when we mention any name related to any country, for example, I am using India, America, Canada, Australia, we have to use masculine sense with them. For example, America is proud of her scientists. Now, America being a country, but here we have to use a feminine sense. In the same way, we can use India. India has her beauty in every state. Clear? Next, there are some nouns when we use man at the end of them. For example, chairman. Now, this is masculine. When we use feminine, we have to use chairperson. It's not chairwoman. You have to be very careful. Chairman becomes chairperson. And spokesman of any party, political party, for example, Congress has their spokespeople, spokesman, but usually we have male who actually speak for their political parties, but when we have a female, it becomes spokesperson for feminine. Be very careful about it. In the same way, we have these genders, for example, child, infant and baby. Now, when we address somebody, child, we don't know that either it is masculine or feminine. So, we have to use it, its or itself. Most of these cases, if you have seen the video, the last rules, the things which I'm talking about are all related to neuter. For example, it, its or itself. For example, if I say, child has broken its leg. A child has broken its leg. I don't know the child, either male or female, but if I come to know that the child is a baby, a boy or girl child, then you can use accordingly. Girl, you will use her, and boy, you will use his. Clear? I hope you have understood all of these important rules related to gender, and you might have heard me very carefully. If not, watch this video again and understand how to use genders. Thank you. Have a great day.